प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरु चरणा पद्मा केवल भगति सद्मा। पद्मा केवल Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Shri Radhe. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री हरिदास शिवासी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की, नवद्वीप धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, राधेश धाम की, गंगमयी यमुनामयी की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय, all glory to the Son of the Lord, all glory to the Son of the Lord, all glory to the Son of the Lord, go Premanande.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotathara Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotathara Shishimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Go Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radhadesh Dham Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Mai Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayo Dhiraye Nashta Praesho Bhadeshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavate Utamashloke Bhakti Bhakti Naishloke. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. Today we are speaking on, actually I think it's different canto here. So I need a different book. It's from the last lecture. We're speaking on 10th canto, chapter 81, text 3 and 4. This is the beginning of the chapter dealing with the pastime of Krishna's worshipping Sudam Brahmana. And the verse on the board might be familiar with a lot of devotees. It's also found in the Bhagavad Gita. I'm going to recite verse number 3 and then we're going to recite number 4 together. Text number 3. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kim. So this one, you have the verses pulled up? Okay. Kim upayanam anitam brahmam me bhavata grihat anvapya uparitam bhaktai premna buryeva me bhavet buryapya bhakta upahritam name tushaya kalpate. The Supreme Lord said, O Brahmana, what gift have you brought me from home? I regard as great even the smallest gift offered by my devotees in pure love. But even great offerings presented by non-devotees do not please me. And this is number 4. You can recite together. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. Tataham bhaktya uparitam. Tataham bhaktyuparitam. Ashnami prayatatmana. Ashnami prayatatmana. pushpam palam toyam bhaktya prayachate. Patram, a leaf. Pushpam, a flower. Phalam, a fruit. Toyam, water. Yaha, whoever. Me, unto me. Bhaktya, with devotion. Rayachati, offers. Tat, that. Aham, I. Bhakti upahritam, offered in devotion. Ashnami, accept. Rayata atmanaha, from one impure consciousness. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit or water, I will accept it. Purport. These famous words are also spoken by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 9.26. The translation and word meanings are here taken from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. In the context of the current episode of Sudama's visit to Dwarka, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti has kindly continued his explanation of Lord Krishna's statement. This verse is a reply to Sudama's anxiety that his bringing such an unfit offering was ill considered. The use of the words bhaktya prayachati and bhaktyupahritam may seem redundant, since they both mean offered with devotion, but bhaktya can indicate how the Lord reciprocates the devotional mood of whoever offers him something with love. In other words, Lord Krishna here declares that his reciprocation in a pure loving exchange is not dependent on the external quality of what is offered. Krishna says, something may or may not be impressive and pleasing in its own right, but when my devotee offers it to me in devotion, with the expectation that I will enjoy it, gives me great pleasure. In this regard, I make no discrimination. The verb ashnami, I eat, implies that Lord Krishna eats even a flower, which is supposed to be smelled, bewildered as he is by the ecstatic love he feels for his devotees. Someone might then question the Lord, so, will you refuse an offering made by you by a devotee of some other deity? The Lord answers, yes, I will refuse to eat it. This the Lord states by the phrase prayat atmanaha, implying only by devotional service to me can one become pure in heart. Magyana timirandasya gyananjana shalakya chakshurun metamya tasmai shri gurave namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishisha Shunyavadi Paschya Daresha Dharini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, as many of you might know this verse from reading the Bhagavad Gita, I'm going to try to set the verse, how it's spoken, in the context of the particular chapter we find ourselves in. And to do that, I would like to set the scene a little bit to what we are experiencing in Bhagavatam right now. In the verse that preceded that one, the Supreme Lord said, O Brahmana, what gift have you brought me from home? I regard as great even the smallest gift offered by my devotees in pure love, but even great offerings presented by non-devotees do not please me. And then this guides into the verse we're dealing with today. This relationship between Lord Krishna and Sudam Brahmana is very interesting because it goes back many, many years. As stated in the chapter before that and also in the introduction, Lord Krishna and Sudam Brahmana went together to the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni. And I was doing a little bit of digging, trying to find out what is the time frame in which those events occurred. In the Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 45, text 3, that's a chapter dealing with Krishna's education. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very detailed explanation of the different ages of Krishna and when certain events took place. I'm just going to refer a few things from there. But essentially, because there's also two Sudamas, and this Sudama mentioned here is different from the Sudama that is in Vrindavan. Because Krishna met this particular Sudam Brahmana only after the Vrindavan pastimes. When Krishna left to Mathura and then went on to study at the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, that is when he met Sudam Vipra, that is referred here. Usually it's referred to as Sudam Brahmana or Sudama Vipra. When Krishna left Vrindavan, he was just about 11 years old. So then it is fair to say that there's no exact time given when he was in the Gurukul, but it was between 11 and 12 years old. So this is when he went to take the education for 60 whole days and nights. And then this is where the pastime that preceded this one that took place with Sudam Brahmana to set the whole scene. So now, after Krishna left Vrindavan, then he stayed in Mathura for 18 years. And after these 18 years, he was in Dwarka for about 96 years. So there's the whole life, not the lifespan, but the pastimes spread over 125 years. And so this Krishna meets his dearest friend, essentially, after a very, very long time. It's not given the exact time frame that we're looking at, but it could be anywhere from, I think the closest would be somewhere 30 to 40 years. The far end would be 90 to 100 years that they didn't see each other. So this is the whole emotionality that is there. It's not just a meeting of friends that is there. We saw each other, maybe 1-2 years ago, but it's a very, very, very long time span that has passed between the initial meeting of Sudam Brahmana and Lord Krishna. So now time has passed, but Krishna actually, he's eternally youth. So his appearance changes only slightly. Eternally, he is the age of Kaishora, exactly 15 years, 9 months, and 7.5 days. But there's some Vaishnavas debate for that. They say there's a few days here or there, but it's around about 15 years, 9 months. And so even though Krishna has aged to timely calculation, he stays ever useful, ever fresh. And now this ever fresh and ever youthful Krishna meets Sudama after what could be 80 years of separation. And because this pastime is in 81st chapter, even though the chapters are not always in a chronological manner, we could assume it's after the Kurukshetra war, And in Kurukshetra, Krishna, I can't remember, I didn't write it down, but because this verse is spoken now, is the same verse spoken in Bhagavad Gita, we could presume that this occurred after the war of Kurukshetra. So, after many decades of not seeing each other, now Sudam Brahmana gets to meet Krishna again. And what is he bringing with him? Just a handful of flat rice. And Krishna, knowing everything, he sees the offering that he's hiding. So in the verses that came before that, it said that Krishna is smiling and then laughing. He's smiling because he sees the offering, and laughing is because he's trying to hide it. So, Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. Krishna knows exactly what Sudam Brahmana has brought him, even though it might be a very very meager offering, just a few handful of flat rice. But he sees what he's hiding, and then he says, Patram pushpam phalam tuyam. Even the smallest offering statifies me. So whatever you are hiding there, I know what you're hiding behind your back. But whatever you have brought for, I can see you have brought it with great devotion. And the exact word that is used in this verse is prayata atmanaha. Prayata refers to, when you look it up in a Sanskrit dictionary, it's a adjective describing something controlled, purified. It's along these lines. And Atma could be referring to body, soul, different things according to the context. So Prabhupada gives the translation of, I think it's impure consciousness. Yeah, prayata atmanaha, from in one impure consciousness. So that is actually the major ingredient of the offering. And Krishna can see that he is coming forth in pure consciousness, and with this pure devotion he's bringing forth this. Even though he's embarrassed to give him the flat rice, but he's bringing forth this gift. But Krishna doesn't accept it. He accepts the devotion that comes from the devotee. And that's why in this verse he repeats the quality, not the quality, but the mood in which the offering needs to be done twice. And when something's mentioned 2 or 3 times, it's very much there to drive the point home that this is the way it is. So in the second line is Bhaktya Prayachati. Bhaktya is instrumental case of bhakti, so that is the by which something is done. Instrumental case, Bhaktya Prayachati, offering. So the offering of what? Patram pushpam phalam tayam, fruit, water, leaf. They need to be offered in devotion. And bhakti uparitam essentially speaks to the same sentiment. It's not about the quality, it's not about the impressiveness of a specific offering, it's about the devotion that is within the heart with which we are doing the offering. So it's mentioned twice, and essentially Krishna is speaking this verse directly to him, saying, I'm not impressed with any of the big offerings done by non-devotees or devotees of other deities, but if somebody just brings me a small leaf or a small handful of flat rice that you're hiding behind your back, then I'm very satisfied. That's what Krishna is saying to Sudam Brahmana. So he's really showing he's teaching the mood in which the offering should be done. And this is a universal principle. It refers to any kind of service, no matter how big or how small the offering is that we do in terms of physical service, whatever service we are doing. We should never think that this is not pleasing to Krishna. Because Krishna is so kind, he takes anything if done with the proper consciousness. Of course, the prayata atmana, prayata in consciousness or purified, refers to the type of offering. So there are certain guidelines. Obviously, Krishna mentions in the purport to this verse that we cannot offer egg, meat, etc. So because this wouldn't be pleasing to Krishna, he doesn't want these things. So there's one layer to the verse, essentially, about the mood of offering. But as we dive deeper, the quality of the offering also becomes of importance, because the more I care for somebody, the more I love somebody, the more of an excellent offering I want to prepare. So actually it's said that the quality of the offering doesn't matter, but naturally as one progresses, the offering in quality or in quantity also increases naturally as a heartfelt offering. And it's not just, oh, I need to offer X variety of foodstuffs every day because this is the only way Krishna accepts it. No, Krishna accepts very little, but it has to be done in the proper mood. We can offer everything, we can offer 108 preparations, but if we're doing the offering and our mind is wandering elsewhere and we're not really there, we've just done it out of ritualistic ways, Krishna, he doesn't accept it, or he at least is not as satisfying for him as a very small offering that is done by pure devotee. And you can see that in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. There's many reasons why he appeared, but in one way it was just a handful of Ganga Jal and a Tulsi leaf of Advaitacharya that brought Mahaprabhu. This is the power of offering. Of course, there's many, many layers to his appearance, but that's one way of looking at it. It's really a very simple offering to Shaligram Shila that satisfied the Lord so much that he wanted to come and perform his pastimes there. So I was reflecting a little bit about this particular aspect, and for example, in my service in cooking, there's a connection between offering and trying to have a very good consciousness by preparing the offerings. And naturally, as you perform the service more and more and more, then you're thinking about the quality of the foodstuff you're offering. Where is it grown? What is the consciousness of the peoples involved in growing it? And more as you progress, at least in my experience, I see the necessity, the absolute necessity to offer the best quality that I can source in this very moment. Because the highest quality would be organically grown vegetables by devotees in very good consciousness, freshly prepared and offered. But on the other hand, Krishna says the quality doesn't matter. It's about the offering, the devotional mood. So both are right at the same time. But yes, as you progress and offer more and more, then the quality automatically improves. In this word ashnami that Krishna is invoking in this verse is also mentioned elsewhere in the Bhagavatam, and it actually speaks about the same sentiment. If somebody wants to look up the verse, it's in Canto 5, Chapter 5, text number 23, where Krishna says, Ashnami kamam na tatagni hotre. And this verse, Krishna is saying that all these offerings done in the sacrificial fire, the Agnihotra, they are less pleasing to him because essentially the sacrificial fire is Vishnu's mouth. So whatever is brought in is accepted. But he says, actually these offerings done in a ritualistic fire sacrifice are less pleasing to me than the offering that is done to the Brahmana directly. So by feeding the Brahmana, they are acting as the mouth of Vishnu. The ideal Brahmana is a pure devotee of Krishna. So by serving the devotee, by offering to serving service to the devotee, Krishna is more pleased. He states that many times in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. So he's repeating the same sentiment that it's about not the ritualistic offering. That's how I saw the verse. It's not about the ritualistic opulent offering of the fire sacrifice, but it could be a very simple service offered to the Brahmana, who is purely devoted. So it's really about the sentiment with which we would do the service, and not so much about the service itself. And then Krishna is accepting it. And actually, in that purport in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, because Krishna is saying that he is accepting his ashnami, Srila Prabhupada writes that each of the senses of Krishna are interchangeable. So he can eat with his sense of sight, or with his sense of hearing, etc. So factually, Srila Prabhupada states there that the offering, when Krishna is hearing the offering, he says when you bow down, you offer prayers, offer foodstuffs. This is the moment when Krishna is eating. He's hearing, he's feeling the devotion. This is how he's eating. And because many times the devotees were challenged, like, oh, all the food stuff is still there, how could Krishna eat? So no, Krishna can eat however he wants, with any of the senses. And everything is still there. And then it gets distributed as prasadam. So it's really also speaking about the transcendental features, the transcendental characteristics of Krishna. When you look at different commentaries to the Bhagavad Gita, because there's also different impersonalistic commentaries, like Sripad Shankaracharya, for example, they don't really comment on that verse. Like in Shankaracharya's commentary, there's nothing in there really. It's just a little explanation of the words. And I didn't read any of the other commentaries, but Srila Prabhupada is stating that actually they don't know how to comment on the verse, because most of the commentaries are dealing with the chapters about dhyana yoga, about Sankhya yoga. But 9th chapter, they don't have a lot of ground to commentate on. So that shows the transcendental nature of Krishna's instructions in the Bhagavad Gita. Also, another point that I wanted to raise about this particular pastime is that when we look at the person of Sudam Brahmana, we can also see him as an archetype of a pure devotee, because he's living a very simple life. He's only living by the mercy of the Lord. And Sudama actually refers, Su is a prefix in Sanskrit which is like it increases the verb, the noun that follows. So Su means a lot or more, and Dhamma means actually somebody who is kind of who surrenders, or there's another word I can't remember, but the nature of surrendering and about following the order is Sudama. So Sudama shows all these qualities of a pure devotee, and the chapter before there was already some discussion about Sudama and his wife, and these really are the qualities about being fully surrendered and humble and pure-hearted. And this is what Krishna is prizing of his dear devotee. And these are the qualities that we need to develop in order to actually offer ourselves, our heart, and in Krishna's service. Yeah. Why he was so poor? I mean, it's described that he was living just by whatever comes along. Like the perfect Brahmana just accepts whatever they need for begging. They just do madhukar. They go like madhukar means like a bee from one bumblebee going from one to the next flower. They just take a little bit. So like this, they were living a very impoverished life. I don't know if there's any other reason, but I think it's just the nature of his lifestyle as a very pure-hearted, simple Brahmana living in a very basic shelter, and then obviously later in the pastime this will be transformed into multiple palaces through the mercy of Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Haribo. Yes. I heard a story. I don't know the source, but it's from one scholar devotee that Sudama Vipra actually, when he was with Krishna in the Gurukul, they went to the forest to collect wood for fire sacrifice of their guru, Sandipani Muni, and they got lost because there was a storm and the night was coming, and they're staying together in a tree, like hiding from the storm. And this Krishna is asking Sudama Vipra, like, why your teeth are making some sound? He heard some sound, you know. It's like his teeth are like cracking something. And actually Sudama Vipra, he got this flat rice that they baked, and he was eating that, and he didn't want to share with Krishna. And Krishna knew, of course, he's Paramatma, but he's acting in this pastime for particular reasons. So he asked, like, Sudama, why your teeth are cracking? And he said, because I feel cold, because it's raining and I feel cold. So actually he didn't want to share this flat rice with Krishna. And then Krishna somehow made arrangement for him to be poor because of that. But then when he brought the flat rice by the arrangement of his wife, because he didn't want to bring it, Sudama Vipra didn't want to bring it himself, he felt it's so unfit for such a personality as Krishna. But his wife kind of forced him through insecurity and emotions and so on. So that situation was sorted out, and then finally he could get what he deserved. By Krishna's mercy, he got such an opulent house, and even the wife became younger, and you know, we can't imagine the opulence he got from this. I don't know if you heard this story before, or if you know the source.
No,
Well, I
would
heard
have
it
to
from
look it up.
some like authoritative Brahmana devotee, you know. I just don't know the source.
Yeah. I was looking for the pastime in different Puranas also, but it's sometimes not so easy to find the sources. I would have to look deeper into it. But often a lot of pastimes are there in the Padma Purana and also the Harivamsha. I think they're mentioning about Sudama Vipra. But yeah, it's also because there's different Sudamas. It's also not so easy to find out which one they're actually talking about. Because oftentimes they could be speaking about one. Like because the name also describes certain qualities of a surrendered soul to them. So, yeah, I didn't hear about this, but it paints the picture very nicely. Yeah, very nice. Those are most of the points that I wanted to bring forth. And basically, my main point that I wanted to address was really trying to contemplate about the quality and the devotional mood of our offerings, because it's such an essential aspect of our practice, is offering service, offering foodstuffs, whatever we do as an offering, that we contemplate and we think about what mood am I doing it in. Am I doing it in just as an offering, as an obligation? Am I just chanting 16 poor focused rounds because I took the vows? Of course, in the beginning it needs to be some obligation, but ultimately the quality and the devotional mood needs to be there for Krishna to accept the offering, and it becomes more and more pleasing to the self as Krishna is accepting these offerings. Because just by ritualistic signing in and out of the temple program and chanting the rounds, it's not very pleasing to Krishna. It has its place, and that place and that stage should be glorified. But once we get more and more deeper acknowledged with the philosophy and in the practice, then this devotional mood and the mood of longing needs to develop. Because we are all, in a way, we are all in separation. Sudama Vipra, he was, after 80 or 90 years, he was finally seeing Krishna. We are separate from Krishna since a lot more years than that. So this longing, this mood of longing is so important, and we need to develop I need to develop the devotional qualities, the moods, for find to see, to experience Krishna's enjoyment. So yeah, these were some of the points that I've worked out from that verse. Are there any comments, complaints, chastisements?
That verse says Ashnami, you commented on that. Also in the commentary by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, it says that, of course, the flowers are for smelling, but Krishna can eat them. There are certain flowers, they're also edible, like they're used as a condiment for food stuff, like for cakes, like very like special restaurants, they add these flowers on top of the cakes, or we can also use it. It's a very nice thing. It's very easy to grow. These plants, they grow like anything in Europe. They're edible, and these flowers can be used also for the offering for food. And devotees can also take that as Mahaprasadam. It's very nice for the health also, but for Krishna as offering. It's very nice. And another thing that came to my mind was this song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhogarati, where describes what Mother Yashoda, what she cooks for Krishna, because ultimately Krishna is the supreme personality, as a supreme free will, is his likes, dislikes, and so on. He describes that even in this verse, that he likes the devotion. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, very interestingly, gives like a detailed of food stuff that Krishna likes, like Shukta Shak, Nalita Kushmanda. This Shukta, spinach, is very favorite of Krishna, also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the other one, Shukta, it's a bitter melon.
Yeah.
Bitter melon, even according to Ayurveda, it's one of the most healthy vegetables. And it's interesting because in that verse, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes, these items, they come first because they are astringent and bitter. This bitter melon, Karela, is very bitter. And my point was like, if we really want to please Krishna, we have to cook for him what he likes, not what we want him to like or what we want to eat, but we offer it first to Krishna, and then we like to eat that, of course. That's like a different stage of devotions. This is like the Kanishta stage, but in advanced stages of devotion, like Mother Yashoda, she's like Uttamadhikari, pure devotee. She offers to Krishna what Krishna likes, and then this bitter melon, I haven't seen it much being used. I think it's a big pity because, of course, Krishna likes that so much. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also likes that. It's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a full description of different foodstuffs and feasts that were shared among the devotees. And Shukta was there many times, and Shak, also spinach. This is also prevention for devotees to not get diabetes, because I don't want to like criticize anybody, but many devotees I have in like a preliminary stage of diabetes, and it's because we don't offer this bitter melon and spinach to Krishna, and we don't eat that as the first thing when we take prasadam, when we honor prasadam. These items are to be taken first. That's also described by Bhakti Charu Maharaj in this Vaishnava etiquette book.
Yeah.
There's like he's giving description what should be served first and how it's served, and then also how to eat it. Because this is like eating in a mode of goodness. We start with something that's bitter first, and then we end with the sweets. So this is like the mode of goodness. The first, it tastes like a poison, but at the end it tastes like a nectar.
Yeah. It's also it's an interesting point, but also one thing that I heard recently. I have to look up the verse again, but in the 11th canto there's two categories of offerings given as well. The highest quality is we offer to Krishna what he wants. If you can't do that, you offer what you like the most, because still there's some emotionality, there's some attachment to that. If we can't offer exactly what Krishna wants, then at least offer whatever you might find most favorable is there. So, but yeah, ultimately these are the things to be offered, and I fully agree with that.
Yeah, of course, like there's a temple standards, like because here in the temple we are like a guest, and this is Krishna's house. But at home, when we're at home, our own like grihastha or whatever, bhajan kutir, then Krishna there is like a guest. So there we offer whatever we have the best. But here in the temple, there's like a certain like pancharatra standards to be followed, and I just feel pity because this plant sukta, this bitter melon, is very easy to grow. I grow it myself. In European conditions, it grows like anything, even outside, and it's not. It doesn't require much care. And Krishna likes it so much, and even Srila Prabhupada used this bitter melon a lot. While he would travel, he would dry it up and he would carry it with himself, and he would make a tea. And it's just like a humble suggestion or advice for devotees to use this herb, because it really can cure so many diseases or even prevent so many diseases, especially diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and so on. These are like the most common diseases among like the people in the Kali Yuga today. Jai, thank you for the class.
Maybe you can give that.
Oh, we have ladies. She's not going.
Hare Krishna, thank you for this beautiful lecture. I have a question. What can help us to develop this proper consciousness or attitude while offering something to Krishna?
There's a bunch of things, or is it very individual? But ultimately, it's about observing ourselves in quality devotional service more and more hearing, and ultimately also more chanting, more kirtanam. And there are some verses actually, I would have to look them up where it was exactly, but in the Paryavali, there's a very nice verse specifically about offering foodstuffs where I think it was a verse directly composed by Rupa Goswami. But essentially the gist of the verse is that, please Krishna, just like how you have accepted the foodstuffs by the wives of the Brahmanas, or you have accepted the flat rice from Sudam Brahmana, there's a whole list of different pastimes by Krishna, actually accepted foodstuffs in the Bhagavatam and elsewhere. Just like how you accepted those, please accept mine as well. And it could be a verse like this, it could be just a bit more of a meditative spirit. Obviously the more Rajaguna, the more passion there is, the less time and meditation is there going into the offering. So the more space we make for our devotional practices and for the offering, and it's not in a rushed way, I think that's very important, because always the mind just goes again. But I would say that, and just hearing more and chanting more, hearing about what Krishna likes to offer, and like the Bhoga Arti is over 20 verses long. It's full of preparations. When you cook, Krishna likes pumpkin, for example. There's description that Krishna likes. There's pumpkin dumplings that are prepared by Srimati Radharani. So there are descriptions, and they can help, especially when it comes to offering foodstuffs, etc. And hearing anything that's related to a specific service. When you're cleaning the floor, you can put the pastimes of the Gundicha Marjanam from the cleaning of the Gundicha temple of Chaitanya Charitamrita on. Things like this to absorb the mind and the consciousness in that particular service. It helps.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class. How Krishna can accept our offerings if we are not in pure consciousness? Because in the verse, in the purport, says he only accepts the offerings if we are in pure consciousness. But we are in different levels of consciousness. And I was thinking, if I don't know, but if when we do the offering, if he really accepts our offering,
So you're saying that, like, how can, if our consciousness is not pure, like, how will Krishna accept the offering? I mean, it's not, our philosophy is never black and white. It's always gray. It's us putting it into black and white boxes. It's the mind, how it works. So obviously, pure consciousness, this oftentimes what Shastra is speaking about is the ideal case. And then there's variations of it, but here in the verse on the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will not say, okay, for somebody who's less of a consciousness, I will accept this much, and gives a percentage. It's like, it's not as it's more of a sliding scale, I would say. The more pure our offering is with pure consciousness, the more Krishna will be satisfied. I don't think it's about him accepting the offering, because once you've somehow if there's a little surrender at least, then our consciousness is already purified. It's not fully purified. It's like the green mango and the ripe mango. It's the same mango, but one is unripe and the other one is ripe. So our offering might not be in the highest of all consciousness, but Krishna will still accept it, because why else are we praying to Krishna all the time? Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. He's an ocean of mercy. He's not a drop of mercy. So, I mean, at least in my opinion, oftentimes it's easy to take the whip upon ourselves and do the guilt, feel guilt. No, I cannot do it in offering. No, this is all part. Just offer. You can offer everything. We have to. We are a broken mess. We have so many complexities, so many problems and anarthas. You have to offer this anyway. Krishna knows. I mean, he saw the flat rice, even though he was hiding it behind. So Krishna knows our heart. If there's a little inkling of devotion, then he will accept it. But if we're doing it for any other reason but to please Krishna, we're like materially motivated or whatever. The example is given of deity, other deity worshippers, demigod worshippers. He will not accept it. But if you really in your heart accepted Krishna and you're trying to please him, and then the offering might not be as pure, well, it will come. It's not like from one day, from 0 to pure devotee in 2 days. So I think that's how I like to think about these kind of statements. Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.